Well, I'm here today speaking with a personal hero of mine, Gavin Boby, who is a mosque buster. He is doing an amazing job in England preventing mosques from being built. So he's a personal hero of mine, and I'm delighted to interview people. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, Gavin.
Thank you, Bill. Well, my name is Gavin Boby. I'm nicknamed the Mosque Buster. My job, what I do is I stop planning permissions going ahead for mosques. So when a mosque outfit comes along, they want to start a mosque in a neighborhood, I help local neighborhoods to resist planning applications, building applications for mosques. I fought 49 of them and won 34.
So why do you do this? I mean, I know why I would do it, but why do you do it?
Well, a whole bunch of reasons. I think it's the right thing to do because I think that it changes a neighborhood so much for the worse. It changes the country for the worst. I think ultimately my reason is I think we are unavoidably, we are going to win this. We're going to overcome our problems with Islam, but I want to see us do it humanely. And the less territory the opposition have, then the easier it is, the more options you have available for dealing with them. The more options you have available, the more you can use humane options. So I do this in order to deny the opposition territory, and mosques delineate territory so that we can deal decently with a really horrible, potentially very violent problem without massacre, which they'll probably have in Europe. We shouldn't have that here.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let's say that I'm living in somewhere in England and a mosque goes in 2 houses down from me. What will happen to my property values?
Well, immediately your property value will probably go down by about 10% because people won't buy near a mosque. Even if they don't care about Islam, they will think to themselves, well, if I buy it, will I be able to sell it? Because there are other people who don't want to live near a mosque. So the whole market will go down. And that's been proved because in one case, a Sikh man, in another case, a Turkish man, when they couldn't get the planning permissions they wanted, they came back and said, give me my planning permission or I'll build a mosque there, because they knew nobody wants a mosque there. So that's the first thing that will happen to the value of your property. Over time, you will find that drop in value will continue until you find yourself selling up for roughly a third of the market value of the property. That'll be years down the road, but that'll happen.
How can people help you?
Well, the main thing, the only thing people can realistically do is to give money, to pay money in order to help me to do what is necessary. First of all, to pay somebody to find these mosque applications, and secondly, to fight them. Now, mosque applications have to be found early, and there is no substitute for trawling through council websites, boring council web pages to find those mosque applications early so that we have the time to go after them. And then to fight a mosque application, that costs about £700 per go. That's not money that goes to me, that's money to people like printers or rail fares. And if there are about 50 to 75 new mosque planning applications in England every year, that works out at about a budget of roughly £60,000 per year to be able to fight every new mosque application in England. That's, I'm afraid, it's the ugly reality. That's the only thing people can do. I don't like it, but it comes down to funding.
I'd like to make a comment here, which is this. In America, we have an expression called chump change, which means just a small amount of money. And for what you're involved in, this is chump change. I mean, it's almost insignificant. I mean, if people would realize this is better than buying insurance for their house because their values will go down. So this is nothing.
Yeah, it is. It's very small, and it will save lives. Closing down some of these mosques down the line, that's going to take lives. That will kill people. Closing down some of those places. We need to respond to that problem early. It's much cheaper.
I want to make a comment here, which is that this may sound weird, but I have some admiration for the way that Muslims do things. And one of the ways that I admire them is if we were Muslims, you wouldn't have to be raising this money anyway. The money would be freely and easily given. Muslims believe in financing the jihad. And we, on the other hand, seem to be weak and timid in pushing against it. So that's just a complaint from myself, is that if we were Muslims, this money would come in readily and easily. And I don't know why we're so tight-fisted with doing this. I mean, but it's just an observation I have to make.
It's just a sign of the times. You're absolutely right.
I sat in a mosque in Southern California and watched in a 10-minute time, and they were raising this money for lawfare. Watched in 10 minutes time of a group of about 50 men. I don't know how many women were there. They were behind a screen. And they raised the $18,000 American in just 10 minutes. I don't know of any other organization I could walk into in America that had that many people in it and raise that kind of money. So I guess what I'm saying is we're against an enemy which is formidable, and they put their money where their mouth is.
And they have all the authorities on their side as well. They have all the politicians, all the local councils, all the broadcast media. Everyone is on their side as well.
Same thing here in the United States. The zoning commissions are bent over backwards. They'll even cheat on how to use tax dollars. They'll put in an extra access on a highway, which is expensive, just so the mosque can be built. So we have a common problem here.
Yes, yeah, we do. What we need, what the world needs, is a good example of one country that is stopping this tide and turning it around. Then other countries can follow that one good example. There isn't one yet. There needs to be. That's what I want to do.
The best seems to me, I go about once a year to Central Europe, and I've met some Poles and Hungarians who are willing to do what needs to be done in order to win this civilizational war. But by and large, everybody bends over backwards to accommodate them.
Yeah, you're right.
So have we covered yet exactly what people can do to help you? How do they go about doing this?
Go to gavinboby.com, click on the Mossbusters logo, and click on the PayPal button. It's a dedicated PayPal account, so that the funding is kept separate. It's quarantined away from my own personal money. That money doesn't go to me. It's third-party expenses. It's costs of fighting these applications. And I intend to publish brief accounts so that people know where their money went, that they know it went on the right things. That's what people can do. Go to gavinboby.com, click on the Mossbusters logo. There's a PayPal button there.
Well, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and do that for you. Gavin, thanks so much for what you do. You're a hero of our civilization.
Thank you, Bill. That means a lot coming from you.